back to my channel. It's your girl Katrice, and I know it's been a long time. I apologize. But today we're back with a makeup tutorial. This trend comes from TikTok. It's a makeup by your name. So I looked up ebony makeup to see what my makeup look would be. And this is what it showed me. So we're gonna attempt to make this same exact look on myself based off of what TikTok thought my name should have as makeup. And we're gonna get right into it. So I've already prepped and primed my face. I have on the Yummy Skin Tint, not skin tint, but the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder, and I also have on my e.l.f. Grippy Primer. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I did already wax my brows, so we're gonna start with the brows first. With her brows, they are very dark and they look like a little laminated. Mine probably won't look like that, but we're gonna get started. We're gonna try it out and see what we can come up with. All right, so I did go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera. I did notice that she had a little bit of a highlight underneath the brow bone, but in the front it looked more so like her skin tone, and above her brow it was her skin tone. So I'm gonna use my Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer for the tail end of my brow bone, and then I'm going to use Too Faced Born This Way Undetectable Medium to Full Coverage Foundation for the rest of my brow bone, or the rest of my brows, and then we'll go from there. Okay, brows are done. They're not as dark as hers is in the picture, but they're nice and thick and they look a little laminated. Let me zoom in. So these are my brows. They're as thick as they're gonna get. I don't have a lot of hair on the brows, but it's done. All right, next I'm gonna attempt the eye look. Just gonna bring whatever product I had down to my eyelid to kind of make it even. So she goes from, I need a mirror. She goes from the corner and then it goes up into her actual crease to the outside. So I need my camera again. I'm not worried about the cleanliness of it just yet because I am gonna clean it up with concealer more than like, or foundation. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of my foundation and kind of clean up around it. Clean it up as much as I can. Like I said, I'm not an eyeshadow girly, so we're just doing the best we can with what we got. All right, I decided to leave the eyes alone for now. It's not really working out how I thought it would, so we're gonna move on to foundation, and we're gonna keep this moving. So for today's foundation, I am using the NARS New Caledonia foundation. This is in the color D2. I just started using this, and this is the exact same color as the Too Faced, which I was hoping for something a tad bit darker, but it is what it is. And her makeup didn't look it did look full coverage, but it didn't look like cakey, so I'm gonna try to mimic that. On camera, this always looks brighter than what it actually is, but it matches my neck than the rest of my face, which I probably need to look into that. All right, so we have our foundation on. Now we're gonna go in with concealer. And again, I'm just using the Too Faced concealer in the color Chestnut. This color may be a little too bright for me right now, but that's all I got. So we're just gonna do a little bit here, not directly under the eye, and then we're just gonna do a dot there. That's the only places we're gonna put concealer. We're gonna let it it dry for a second, and then we'll blend it out. While that's doing that, I'm just gonna scroll on TikTok. Alright, so we have the concealer blended out. I know I look a little white and a little yellow and a little orange, but it's gonna come together. It's just something about this concealer always looks like this, but once I'm done, tea. So next, I gotta go back to the picture. For her face, it's like super bronzed. So I am going to bronze my nose, my forehead, chisel the cheeks a little bit, and she has a little bit down here, but not too much. And then we'll kind of go from there. We'll add the blush, and then we'll add our powders next. So for bronzer, I don't have bronzer. I always use eyeshadow. Eyeshadow just works for me. Talk about me if you want to, but this eyeshadow does the job. It's not too dark, it's not too light. It's like this perfect color for my skin tone. So again, I don't have a mirror right in front of me, so I am gonna turn my head, but you'll be able to see at least this side as I bronze my face. Don't mind the edges. Y'all know the edges don't never stay. So I'm gonna go right on the cheekbone, right there. And then we're gonna bring it up into the temples. Need some more. Gonna tap it all along the forehead. So for her forehead, it's literally the whole forehead. She only has a little bit that's not bronzed. Of course, bring it into the hairline. And this is why I like this color, because it just brings me back to life. Forehead's real bronzed. I did bronze this area and down here. Now for her blush, she does have a pretty pink color going from here all the way up to basically her eyeshadow. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm using Sephora's blush collection in the color Over the Top, and it's in the matte finish. So again, she starts about right here, and she brings it all the way up into her eyeshadow. And don't worry, it's gonna look a little bright now, but once I add the a little bit more concealer and the powder, it'll kind of blur out. So say that you'll never let. And then I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more bronzer around the cheek area, just so it like kind of blends flawlessly. Again, back with this eyeshadow. We just trying stuff out today, okay? For the waterline, I am going to use the Sephora Collection Waterproof, a 12-hour colorful retractable eyeliner, and this is in the color matte brown. Alright, so I did it off camera. You can see the stamps on my face. I'm gonna go ahead and with this One Size Pink translucent powder, and I'm going to not finish my face, set my face. Well, set my concealer. And I'm not gonna touch where the eyeshadow is. I'm just gonna blur it out into the blush. Alright, so now wings. I don't really let it bake, but I will like just let it sit for a second, and then I just dust it off, starting with the parts that don't get as oily. So like under the cheek, my chin, my forehead, even though my forehead does get oily, my nose, and then I go under the eyes. I am gonna go in with a little bit concealer, just where that white shadow is, because it did kind of smudge a tad. Just gonna cover it up. And then I'm gonna go in with just a little bit more of that blush and just go right back on top of where I had the blush earlier, just to make that pop a little bit more. And then now I'm going to add the tight line once again, and then go in with my mascara. For the mascara, I am using Fenty Beauty in Hello Thick because I'm black. This is the shade 1, and I am going to just add a little bit on the bottom lash line. Alright, and last but not least, for the lips, she has just a dark liner and some clear gloss. So I am going to use my Makeup Forever in the color Limitless Brown. This is number 608, and I'm just gonna line my lips. I'm glad heaven sent you to me. Alright, to finish up this look, I am going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. It's gonna just melt everything together. Alright, so this is our final makeup look. I think I hit it quite on the head. It's not perfect, but I think I did a pretty good job. It's nice and flush. Everything is like a smooth transition from one shade to the next. I do have to work on my eyeshadow work, but this is what we have. Let me know how you guys like it. Leave a comment down below if you want to see more looks like this. Please go ahead and leave that also down below, and I'll see you in the next one. There's nothing like